Hey, and welcome to the show. This show is brought to you by Patreon members like you.
Thank you for being a Patreon member.
As a Patreon member, you get a video of the podcast that we put out twice a month.
Now, on with the show.
Well, good after Monday. How's everybody doing? Oregon, Michigan, New York. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Mr. Marty Dean?
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Yes.
Rumor has it he might be swinging down here to Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
If you do, you know you're more than welcome to stop by and or come on the show. Just saying. So anyways, what's up, Mr. Hi-Fi?
What's going
More
on?
New York, PA in the house. What's up?
What's
Connecticut. Lots of
New
East
Zealand?
Coast.
Or is
Where?
an S? And
New
Z.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason.
It's New Zamzers.
Zenzers. Alright, that makes sense.
Seattle in the house. What's
There
up,
you go.
Indiana? How can I add an amp to 2019 TLX? Very carefully. Check out maybe something like the LC2i Pro and or a Kicker key lock.
I see the Marty Dean is traveling.
He's doing a lot of
He's
traveling.
just
South Carolina. Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm assuming that's like his home away from home when he retires.
That's what he's trying to do.
Here from Indy, Massachusetts. Got a new 2020 F250. Seems there is no T-harness available yet. Is there one coming out? No. There is no nothing for 2020 F250.
Actually, what was it we did?
So you could use the DFO2.
That's what we did, right?
Yeah, DFO2. I did a DFO2 and an IRR if it is non-A to B, and then you can reflash the car to do all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, 2020 is the same plug. But yeah, Metro stopped making a lot of their T harnesses. So, but that right above my head, directly above my head, that one right there, DFO2. Actually, that's what's going into this Ford Fusion over here. So
Can I ship my car to you for a 911? Maybe you can talk to Paul, yeah?
Well, before we get all carried away, Nebraska,
Yeah.
New Jersey, all in the house. Let's take care of Maryland. Happy Monday, South Carolina. Oh no, we already got that one. Sorry, didn't mean to give South Carolina two shout outs. SoCal.
Oh no, I said thanks.
Which is the best 10 or 12-inch woofer? Which the best one? Like the best? Like the best? The best is relative, okay? So when you ask like what is the best 10 or 12, there are tons of stupendous bestest 10s and 12s out there. What you want to do is find one that works best for you and your budget and your power requirements and your space requirements and what you're planning on doing with it. There's so many different things. There's hundreds and hundreds of woofers to choose out there. So yes, I can understand how it can get to be a bit like overwhelming at times, but best is kind of best for your situation is the question you should be asking, because that's what matters most.
The one that you can afford.
Yeah, the one that you can afford, or the one that fits your criteria. So, for example, I had a guy come in last week that wanted a small sealed enclosure, because he didn't want to take up a lot of room, but he wanted a lot of bass, he wanted to put a lot of power to it, and I was like, going through my memory banks, and I was like, dude, we did that Hertz Milli Pro subwoofer, or Hertz Milli subwoofer, in that small sealed box. I was like, boom, there we go, this will be the woofer for you, that'll be the bestest woofer for your application. I'm working on it. Sorry.
My bad. Alright. Which amplifier would you guys recommend between JL...
Hold on, wait. Hold that thought. Let's get this out of the way before we forget. I'm gonna zoom over here to the laptop. For those of you guys that don't know, I don't know where you've been living, but the Clean Wire Club is the Facebook page we belong to.
You just cut me off. Yeah,
what did I do?
Go ahead.
Oh, you were gonna see his name?
I want to see his name.
Do you need me to go back?
No, go ahead. Talk about it.
So anyways, every Monday Fernando posts up a new, like, hey, look at me page at the top there. And this Monday came to us from Fernando's Looking Up. But what's special about this one, I'm glad he picked it, I have nothing to do with it, is this was exactly what we were talking about last week, in the sense that, you know, you can mount your amps, you have all these nice little flush holes, all the wire dipped out the back, but then over here in the bottom, you'll notice how clean all this is. So he showed us both. He showed us how clean he can make the front and how clean he can make the back. This is the thing that most people don't do. So kudos to
Jason Owens.
You did a wonderful job on this.
Owens?
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, Owens. Yeah. Jason did a spectacular job.
If you go to his post, he have few more pictures of that, so I just picked those two so you guys can see the front and the back. Some people liked hiding wires like that, but like he made it really clean in the back, so nice.
I'm all for hiding it,
yeah.
But if you're gonna hide it, I still want to see it. So that's the back there. Also, dude, MS8, Andy would be happy. You know, it's like wow.
Yeah.
So cool there. And we got the giant connection. So for those of you guys that don't know connection, this style fuse, there are a couple rip-offs of this, but the connection version is the Audison version. Yeah. That's who actually makes that.
And the third wire from...
This little guy right here?
No, the third one. No,
one
four.
Right
that one.
That one.
Actually doesn't go...
Anywhere.
No. But he just put it just for the look. It's really nice. It's like,
we
why not?
We used to do that all the time.
That's nice.
Anytime, because... You know, back in the day, you had 2 and you had 4, and that was it. And so, if you were doing 3, the 4th, you just dummy it up so that it would look, and everyone would go, "Where'd that go?" It doesn't go anywhere. It just didn't want the hole.
That looks cool. Yeah.
So that's old school right there.
Kudos for Jason.
Good job. Good job.
All right.
All right. Now, with that out of the way, and for those of you guys that would like to have your picture featured, by all means. Do a clean wire job, submit it to the Clean Wire 12-volt Clean Wire Club, and if Fernando likes it, you'll make it to the top of the page.
Yeah.
Hello, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
I love that SpaceX video. Oh, there it is. Hey, I have one of them. I'm guessing you mean the MS8. All right, you got one for me?
Hey, man, I can't go back anymore, but that was a jail right there.
Oh, is it right there? You see
it?
I don't see it. Did I lose it?
Yes, just lose it. Right there, Chris. Which amplifier do you recommend for the KX3 mids and highs? JL/ or Mosconi Pros? 410.
I'm not familiar with the 410, the slash. I mean, personally, if I'm going with KX3s, I would like to do a audio control D amplifier. But I'm guessing if I have to choose, I'm probably gonna, without knowing anything. I just don't know enough about both those amplifiers.
Right, then you can just say something like,
That was Brian Schmidt calling us.
Oh, okay,
that's
cool.
what I thought. Yeah, so. Where's Uncle Bobby? I don't know. He'll probably be here at some point. Why do I keep saying all right.
You tired?
Let me refocus. I am tired. Go ahead. Read something. I'm going to get a
How will do the L7s work in a small seal enclosure like behind the seat on a 2005 Silverado crew cab?
I mean, that's what they're made for. They're made to go in a small sealed enclosure. Those are the L7Ts, by the way. They're made to go into a small sealed enclosure. We have put them in some not so fun places so far, and they have not disappointed. The enclosure that they come with from the factory is like one of the smallest, most hard to believe enclosures ever, and they just beat it up. So by all means, go for it. You will not be disappointed. Go ahead. Did the quad box Haley had have a solo X woofer? It did not have a solo X woofer.
It has the
so full disclosure,
L7.
I had seen a prototype of the Solo X. They actually had a 3D printed version, one of many versions of it. This speaker has changed so many times. Some of the versions that we were privy to were like, let's build that, but obviously sound quality and performance outweighs cool looking stuff, and so sound quality and performance won out. But I did get to hold, see, and touch a pre-production sample 3D printed version of it, which was amazing. But no, we did not have access to those woofers. We had seen them, but yeah, that's it. Wow, that was loud, man. Way to go, just cracking them up.
Hey guys, late model GM truck that keep stock head unit, Ampro versus the WaveTech product. You have a preference?
Well, they're two totally different things. An Amp Pro is a integration into the car that works off of the data bus to give you a unadulterated, clean, super clean preamp section on from the system. So essentially, it's the same sound that's feeding the stock amplifier, whereas a WaveTech or anything like that is going to go after the amplifier, and you still have chimes, you still have the house EQ curve from the factory in there. So they're different. They're totally different things, and they totally different applications. If you're going to install the system and you would like to tune it the way you would like to, let's say you're going to put in your own EQ, your own DSP, and you want it to sound good, and you don't want your door chimes to blast you out of the car, well then you're going to go Amp Pro or something along those lines. If you're kind of happy with the imaging and the equalization that's happening from the factory, you just want it louder and maybe EQ it a little bit, then you could use some form of high level to low level integration. Most of the time, actually all the time that we have access to this, we're going to use an Amp Pro because we want to do our own stuff. So,
all right, what is this one? Love the Kenwood 10.1.
Yeah.
I'll be pissed.
Oh, it doesn't fit. Yeah, it doesn't. Hey, it's in my car and it's big, so it's right there.
What's a good sounding 4x6?
That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know if there's any such thing as a good 4x6. Maybe look at a 4-inch, because you can fit a
4-inch.
A 4-inch. I mean, if you're talking, all right. So if you're talking like a Chevy rear door 4x6 kind of thing, Rockford has the Power Series 4x6s that are pretty nice.
Now, yeah.
Believe it or not, years ago, American Bass used to make a 4x6 that was really nice. But I prefer to go with like just a 4-inch. Just go with a 4-inch.
I mean, Kicker made the KS.
They have a KS 4x6.
4x6. I mean, Alpine makes one, but
will it fit the new Rams? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, it'll fit in a new Ram. Kevin Excellent. Yeah, it would fit.
McLaren used to make
4x6.
4x6.
Everybody makes a 4x6, but I mean, the thing is like
we should make a 4x6.
I don't want a 4x6. A 4-inch is just better.
All right. Is there any factory integration for a GMC Yukon Denali 2010 luxury amplifier system?
There might be.
Yep.
A good place to go to find out if there is, as we always say, is right here, pack-audio.com, right here at the top, maestro.idatalink.com, metroonline.com, navtv.com, and mobridge.us. These are the places that we go to when we need to find something to work in a car. So if you've got an internet browser, which I know you do, you can type your make, model, year information into any one of those sites, and they will spit something back for you. However, if the car is that old, you may want to think about just replacing the radio. How many installs do you guys do on a daily? We really don't track it like that. It's not a matter of banging out cars, as it were. That's kind of not what we do. It's more like this car. We worked on 2 cars today. We had a car that came in this morning that we were doing a backup camera and radio on, and then that immediately went into this project car, which is getting sound treatment, fast rings, components. We had to make all 6 of the panels for this car, mounting the amplifier underneath the seat, making a panel for that. So it's not a matter of how fast we can bang it out, it's the quality of job that we do. There are certain times of the year that, yes, we will do 6, 7, 8 cars in a day, just boom, 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 depending on what we're doing. But for the most part, it's not about how fast you can do it, it's the quality of the job that you do. So I'm getting old, man. I don't need to run to on every car. I need to run. I mean,
but you run every day.
But I'm just saying, I don't need to run through these cars. It's not a matter of how fast can I do something. I don't care to do it fast. I care to do it right, and that's what people that come here typically pay for. I mean,
yeah.
Just a thought.
Hey, Dean.
Hey.
Any pointers on settings for a CO box with the epicenter?
No. Turn the dials until it sounds good. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. Epicenter, I mean, the whole idea behind the epicenter and why they don't have those, like, indicators on them is that they really just want you to play with it and have fun. It's one of those things that you play some music, you turn the dials. Start at 12 o'clock and just kind of start working from there and see what happens. Do you do blind spot cameras? Haven't seen any vids. It depends. So most people want them to go in places that they're just not made to go, and so, you know, I'm not just gonna throw an ugly blind spot camera on the side of a car just to like make a couple bucks.
Oh, there you go. That's your uncle right there.
Yeah, because it just, you know, we have to service everything we sell, so everything we do has to make sense. Because there again, it's not worth making a couple bucks doing something if I can't guarantee that the finished result is how I would want it to be. So that's the problem. So any time I do anything in a car, it has to be something that, you know, we can make sure that the end result is where we want it to be at the beginning. If it's not, then I don't get involved with it. It's because, you know, making $200 isn't worth the $200 if I'm going to have to constantly keep talking to somebody.
All right, 65 watts active or 180 watts bridge and passive with the flags 2 ways.
I think you know the answer to this question. Bridge that bitch. Passive, man.
Yeah.
Go passive. Yeah. Oh my God, yes. Get some power to those things and make them scream. They will love you for it. Yeah. You know, we get asked a lot because a lot of the systems we do obviously have passive crossover. That's because most of the time, a lot of people, they like, you know, front rear sub. Mm-hmm. And when you sell a 5-channel amp, like I posted a video this weekend of the 6-channel Focal amplifier, mm-hmm. and it was like, everyone's like, why would you need those passive crossovers? It's like, because it's a front rear sub system, guys. Mm-hmm. You know, not everyone wants to do tweeter mid sub. Some people that do, I'm down for it. It's cool. But it's 1 amp powering everything. I mean, you can tell by the color of the RCAs we plugged into it that mm-hmm. it was front rear sub.
You know, I remember because I post the audio control system and the 2020 Explorer.
Yeah.
And of course, that was like, you know, why not active and all that stuff? It's like,
because we didn't have room for all the amplifiers to go active.
All right, Rockford T404.
Yes.
I get 1.7 volts out of the remote port when the amplifier is off. I disconnect the remote wire from the radio and it still has a voltage. It's causing the turn off pop and fans never turn off.
So that could be a problem with the amplifier. The question I always have is that the only amplifier in the car? I have had situations in the past with those amplifiers when you have done multiples of those amplifiers, meaning the remote turn on is wide off into multiple amplifiers, that there is a small residual amount of voltage there that could cause issues. So what we recommend doing is adding diodes to the wire so that it does not backfeed into the other amplifiers and or the source unit. You could pick up, you only need like a 1 watt or 1 amp, 2 amp, 1.5 amp diode in there, and that will solve the issue for you. If you're going, what is a diode?
What is a diode?
What is a diode? Turn on your camera.
Ah, too late.
Did you turn on the side thing? It's because you gotta flick both switches.
It's gonna come.
It might.
All right, so.
Well, let's finish this diode thing first. I think I have. So here, shine the. Let's see if the camera works. Camera 2. Oh no, we're not there yet. All right, give me 1 second. That'll fire up. What does it say on the side there?
It is loading. All right, I think
Okay, we're good. All right, let's go to camera 2.
Nope.
Nope. Come on. See, this is why you got to turn this thing on when we get here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
Okay. So these little guys here are what you're looking for. All right, and if you'll notice the little silver stripe there on the top, I have my nice little cheat sheet right here, and you want to hook it up so that the stripe, the little silver stripe here, is facing towards the amplifier. That'll allow the 12 volt current to come through here to the amplifier but not back into the radio. That'll stop that from happening. You can also hook a relay up, and that will help too if you don't have one of those. But a combination of this and a relay would be spectacular. However, now keep in mind, if you have multiple amplifiers, then you need to put multiples of these in. One of these should be next in front of each one of the amplifiers, and that will stop that problem. Maybe. That's what you want. Okay.
That is awesome.
I know. Oh, okay. All right, next question.
All right, when you have to use 5x7.
When I have to use what?
5x7s.
5x7s, okay.
Such as an older F-150, where speaker mounts to be actually in the door. What are you doing? It's not many options for that.
For 5x7s? Really?
I mean, like speaker mounts.
What do you mean by speaker mounts? I mean, like everyone makes a 5x7 component now. I mean, Austin makes one. I think even Morel makes one, for God's sake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're talking about maybe putting a 6.5 where the 5x7 goes, then you do have to make one from scratch, which we've showed a couple times, I think, on
we have
lasered those out. Now, I will tell you this: Alpine actually gives you the 5x7 and 6.5 mount in the box. So when you buy the R types, they come with the. Do you have those out, or did you throw them away?
No, I just threw them away.
If you threw them away, they should be right there on top of the trash. No, it's just gonna drive you crazy because we just threw them away. So Alpine actually gives you this in their box when you buy their speakers. We typically throw them away because we're going to not use an Alpine for that, because they do make a set of 5x7 components, I think. Or no, they don't. But this is what you'd make if you want to go to a 6.5.
All right, so we froze.
Are we
the
froze?
device is off.
What's that?
All right, we come back.
Let's see. What are you talking about?
No,
Oh, it's
everything
freezing?
was like, yeah.
Oh. That's no problem. Well, make sure you shut off your Wi-Fi. Fix that. Alright. Buffering. Sorry, you're back. Alright, we're back. We're back. So what we were talking about, in case you missed it, is Alpine gives you this 5x7 to 6.5 inch when you buy their R-type speakers. And I think they also do it on their X-type. But anyways.
I thought he'd say bye-bye 7. That's awesome.
Bye-bye 7. Yeah.
I like it. What's up, Mike?
They'll be back in a few. Yeah. Alright. I tried the diodes that you recommended last week. The fan stopped running on, but still gets the turn on pop. I paired with the no issues with the sub amp. Huh. So the other option is, of course, adding a delay to see if, if that would work. We should have audio. You can yeah, we got audio. You can add a delay using like a TR7 or TR12 Pro or something like that,
Yeah,
where you
12, yeah.
So try this. Try, if it's just turn on pop, try letting everything turn on and then have it turn on. Or have it turn on before. Maybe hook it up to accessory and leave everything on remote so that it turns on before the radio sends its remote turn on out, and see if you get the pop then. So you kind of sometimes have to play with it to see if it works, if that does anything. If you had a Ram 1500 2012, what speakers would you put? Let's see, it's a 2012, so I might not necessarily want to go crazy on it.
So it's not the Kenwoods fit?
The Kenwoods would fit. The Kenwood Exelons would fit if you want to do that. But I mean, I feel like everyone makes a 6x9 set of components now that you know. So you need something. So the Kenwoods would definitely fit. And being that it's a Ram and the doors are shallow, you kind of need that shallow 6x9.
I mean, also the Albines 6x9, they're shallow too.
Yeah.
I mean, they fit.
Yes, they are.
They are.
I was gonna say Audison makes them now. Kicker has them. You know, the Kicker 6x9 is gonna be shallow. So there's a lot to choose from, man. It's so much. It's really.
But the Kenwood, that will be just.
Yeah, they would go in.
Really nice.
What's your thoughts on the Kenwood XR speakers? I think that answers that question. I think that was a twofer right there. Question: what good double din radio with Apple CarPlay and no Bluetooth delay will stream music? Alright, so you first got to understand how CarPlay works. CarPlay shuts off Bluetooth because Bluetooth is too small of a tube and gets in the way. So when you're doing Apple CarPlay, you plug in for CarPlay, it turns off Bluetooth. So you don't actually use the Bluetooth. There is no delay. It's USB. Now, if you get wireless Apple CarPlay, that's actually done over Wi-Fi because there's a peer-to-peer network that's in the car. So there's really no Bluetooth being used when doing Apple CarPlay at all. It's gone. It doesn't happen. So
for Android, you still have to pair it.
You do have to pair the Bluetooth.
Because they have to see it,
but they do data, I think, over Bluetooth. It's weird. Anyways, so as far as that goes, there's plenty of radios out there to pick from. As far as delay with Bluetooth, I have no idea.
I'm going to buy soon a Pioneer 8600 NEX 7-inch for a 2003 GTI. What kind of speakers do you guys recommend?
The ones that you can afford, the best that you can possibly buy. There again, there's so many good products out there. It varies. I mean, it's a GTI, VW GTI, so like there's even perfect fit speakers for that car. So what I'd probably do is first off, maybe figure out what size speakers in there. There again, you can head over to metroonline.com and see what kind of adapters they make for that, and you know, go from there.
I mean, 6.5 components. I mean,
but it might have the 3-way set. It's a GTI.
This is 2003.
I know. I know. It's tough, man. Plus, you got to make sure it doesn't have that amplifier. Ooh.
Yeah.
Quick question about phase. On my simple install, I have a large amount of mid-bass, but the sound in the lower ranges, it goes away from time to time. Sounds great, but it sounds muddy if I adjust the sub crossover much past 70 Hertz. Is it possible to run front stage open like a home theater and leave the sub at 50? So the reality is you can do anything you want. Will you get phase cancellation? Maybe. But you might not. You might get phase coupling. You know, when talking with the gurus, as it were, way above our pay grade, you know, like 80 Hertz is the lowest that anyone would want their speakers to play, mainly because you're not going to get much more out of them. But that's their thought process there. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying you can do anything you want. The problem you run into is when you move the crossover down lower, you're reducing the performance that you can get out of your speaker in the way of power handling, because really when you look at a speaker and they give you that frequency response range, it's not for rated power. So if you take like a 6.5-inch mid bass and you're, let's say, putting 80 watts to it, 70, 80 watts to it, and then you're not going to put a crossover on it, chances are good that speaker is not going to last long. What you may want to do is look into adjusting time delay, or finding a radio that has time delay built into it, and try to fix the subwoofer issue with the time delay more so than with the you know, the subwoofer coupling with the mid bass in the door. That might be more the issue. If you have an amplifier that has a 180-degree phase switch on it, you may also want to try that and see if that helps you out.
Christopher, what's up?
63 Hertz for the win.
Oh yeah, okay. It's funny. Never mind.
The problem with the X5 is the DSP amp. Yes, it is.
Well, he actually say, what speakers will you get from a 2003 BMW X5?
Yeah, you gotta pull that amp out.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do a lot to that. It's not a simple thing, man. That's like, have fun.
But Foucault makes a factory fit.
Everyone makes factories. Ground Zero makes them, Rockford makes them, Folk makes them. I think even Powerbase makes them at this point. Everyone makes one that'll just go right in.
Yeah.
So pick
What's
a brand
up, Tim?
that you like and go from there. Can I do 2 sets of T2 components off of a T404 and another T404 for rear doors and rear deck, and still use a DSR1 in my 2015 Nissan Altima, or would I need another DSP? I mean, alright, 2 sets of components off. Alright, so we're going to go passive, I'm assuming. And another 2 for rear doors and rear deck. So we're going to do... No, because the rear doors will still be on 1 and... I'm sorry, the front doors will still be on 1 and 2. You're not going to get any good time delay from that, unless, you know, because you don't have power. I mean, you probably can. I mean, you're going to have... It's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time tuning that, but... No, the front is still going to be the front. So even though you have 2 components, I'm assuming the mid-bass and the tweeters will be next to one another. So then, yeah, you should be able to run that. And then subwoofer, and then if you want to adjust the rear doors in the rear deck differently, you're just going to have to pick something that has 8 outputs and then go back in and change the configuration manually. And then, yeah, you'll be fine. Be weird, but yeah, it'll work. Do it. Now, if you want to go full active on everything, then you're going to need another 2 of those 404s. And, of course, yes, a bigger DSP. Something with 12 channels. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
12 channels.
How is the Mini DXP sound quality, Fernando?
It is really nice, man. I love that. DSP is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you compare it to what you have in there now?
Oof. Oh, we have the dish.
How was Disney? It's hot.
Yeah?
Hot and just annoying. It's no fun. It's no fun at all. Don't waste your time. I love your videos. My son takes the opportunity to learn from car audio and English. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Exactly.
What's up from Texas? Howdy, fellas. What's up, guys?
What's up, William?
Speaking of time correction, which is right, center of dash or driver's side? Cook J. Alright, so I'll answer that in 2 ways. Alright. Personally, center of dash. However, and the reason for that, you can do whatever you want. Like we have Mike Sajecki, Bill Freeman's boss. He likes it right here. Alright, so here's the argument for it, and here's the argument against it. The reason why you go center of dash is that it gives you equal amount of distance between the center of the dash and this speaker, equal in that speaker. So that means that all the audio that's supposed to be left channel, all the audio that's supposed to be right channel, all the instruments that is, you have ample space on your dash to give the illusion of creating that. However, center above your face would be like if you go to a concert or to a movie and you're like right here and it's like, oh, but the problem you run into is now all the left instruments have to be created in this little 12-inch space between the center of your gauge cluster and the A-pillar. So you're really limiting how much range you can get for your instruments in that tiny, tiny space. So even though, yeah, okay, this makes sense to some people, it does make a little bit musically more sense to move it out to the center so that you can get a little bit more range and a little more characteristics. Yeah, we'll go with characteristics of the music up out onto the dash. So that's my for and against. Obviously, do what you will, but that's what you're thinking about. There is no wrong things.
Funny.
There's just blown speakers.
I'm just wondering what Sajecki would like to argue with you.
Well, his argument is the same. When you go to a concert and you sit here, that's what you want. And in his car, he will sit in his car, and it's an extremely hard car to tune.
Yeah, he's like, I want the music for me.
And that's fine. That's okay. But the reality is if you're willing to cram everything on the left side down, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, Bill argues the opposite, as he said, center of the car. And I think it's just more fun. Fernando, of all the amps you've had in your sound lab, which ones are your favorite? Wow, Jason's just having fun with that. Okay,
they are really nice, all of them.
He's not going to give you an answer on that. I mean, come on, really?
Very political. No, they nice.
I was going to say, I mean, if you think about it, we've never really tested crap in there.
No. I mean, all of them, from the ACMs, Sound Digital.
And there's only like 2 DSPs we've ever tested that was like, okay, can we get this out tonight?
Yes.
No, 2.
Oh, yeah.
There's only 2 that we've done that was like, okay, next. And neither one of them are in his car now. They're both gone.
They both gone.
More buffering.
Testing.
Sorry. Hold on. Hi guys, I bought a Scar DDX12 dual 2 ohm subwoofer and we'll be running 1000 watts RMS through it in a 12 box. Where did it go? I know you guys install them. Do you get loud? How's the quality? We still install them. We install a lot of them. Yeah, dude, that should pound. I mean, I have no problems with that. I mean, it's gonna get stupid. It's gonna get stupid, especially that amount of power. Center out of the hood for the win. Okay, there you go. Land Rover LR3. What amp do you recommend to power what? The last LR3 we did, we put a subwoofer in, and we used the T750.1 to power a Kicker a Q-Class L712, and it was silly.
Dylan, yes, you can stop by. Of course, like nobody get in the install.
Yeah, we
can go outside and everything. No problem, man. Yeah.
What, you didn't like the Dayton DSP in your car? No.
Hey, there you go. That's it. That was the only one that when I left, I came back the next day and I'm like, let's take it out. Let's take it out. No, I didn't even know.
We barely made it through that night.
No, I was like, take it out.
Yeah. You know, Scar also makes their boxes. I don't know if you've already got them, but Scar does make a box for that woofer. It's actually a really nice box as far as like boxes that are pre-made go. They do a really good job, and it looks nice. And it's got a big Scar logo on it. So, yes, I love the Dayton as much as you love your CCA wire there, Hi-Fi. Yeah, I bought it. Oh, then you'll be fine.
Go up.
Where do you want to go?
Right there. Right there, Gabriel.
If my Crescendo 6K is tuned, voltage and battery power is good, what would be the reason my amp, damn it,
goes into protection on certain songs? I listen to rebase it, negative 7.5.
Alright, so here's the thing. All amplifiers have some form of protection built into them, meaning they have different things that do, most amplifiers have some form of protection built into them to do all kinds of things. So
what's up, Lance?
The boss. What's up, the boss? If your amplifier is designed to work at X amount of voltage with a certain ohm load at a certain gain setting, and anything gets varied from there, things are going to shut off. And there is a fine line between what is going to cause an amp to shut off and what is going to cause an amp to shut on. We can stay on. We can literally tune an amplifier and be at 38 and it plays all day, go to 39 and it shuts off. Okay? When you're setting your gain overlap up and you're like, I'm going to be at negative 7 dBs, okay? It might not like 7. It might only do 5. It might only like 3, considering the ohm load you're running at and the voltage you're at. So remember, like what we said, anything above 0 dB is distortion that amplifier is pushing out to that woofer. The other thing too is you don't know what your ohm load is going into your amplifier from what the box is doing to the woofer. If you have a box that is totally wrong and the woofer isn't acting right in there, it could be putting a lower ohm load into that amplifier and causing the amplifier to shut off that way. So there's quite a few things that can be happening there that's causing the amplifier to go out. Do you have the voltmeter there when the amplifier is banging away? Where does it shut off? Meaning, again, if you're at 35 and it plays all day and you're at 38 and it doesn't, well then that answers that question. So you kind of have to at this point be Sherlock Holmes and do a little investigation and see what the heck is actually going on. That's the easiest thing to do. I mean,
just troubleshoot it.
And after all of that, yes, there's a possibility it could be a bad amplifier.
Blown Type R tweeter.
Ooh.
What do you recommend as an upgrade, or should I just get another pair of Type R running passive?
I mean, clearly if you blew the tweeter isn't loud enough for you. If you want a louder tweeter and you're an Alpine fan, obviously going up to the Z-type tweeter is the way to go. It is a bigger hole. Or if you just want the loudest tweeter you can get that will fit in a similar... What did I say? Z? I'm sorry. I meant X. My bad. Wrong brand. Or if you just want something that is like, check out the Rockford T2 tweeters. You can buy them standalone just as a tweeter. Use their crossovers. And yeah, you'll never have a problem with the tweeter not being loud enough again. What's up, Mr. Ada?
Hey, what's up?
All right.
Long time no see.
I have a Kenwood 706. I'm
Yes.
using a DD1 to set my gains, my sub. My EQ is flat. The crossovers through a verified signal coming through the RCA is clean at max volume. But when I run 40 hertz track, the connect it to the sub amp, it
shows that is distorting even through the to the gain on 0. Do you know why? I switched the 40 hertz overlap and it hits the read. It says 15 dB even through the gain is a 0.
Because you're getting too much input signal into the amplifier. I mean, that's one of those weird things that yes, that does happen sometimes where it shouldn't, but it is. You're getting more signal out of that deck. Put a voltmeter on it and see. Does it say whether you put a voltmeter on it? Yes, he did, right? I don't think I can go back. Put a voltmeter on it. See what kind of voltage you're getting out of that. That would be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Is put a voltmeter on it and see. Because I mean, the Kenwood should play clean all the way up to 40, and I think you can maybe do +2 on the subwoofer before, and then that would be 0 dB out of the radio. And then if you went to -15, even through a gain at 0, yeah, that's weird. Because weird. You should be able to, go all the way. Okay.
All right.
Disney sucked. It was hot and just crappy, and I'm wearing a mask all day. It's just not fun.
Hey.
Here comes trouble.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, how are you? I have a question. I installed a subwoofer on a Challenger 2016 with a factory radio, and my problem is when I turn it off, the radio. When I turn the radio off, the subwoofer start hum. I hope you can help me with that problem.
Yeah, so you're getting a ground loop noise coming over the outputs of the radio. This is one of those weird things that happens every now and then. There's really no good answer for this, other than better high level to low level adapter would be the best bet. If that's not the case, get a what's it, LC1? What is the
SNI1?
SNI1 noise filter will solve that on the input to the amplifier. It's not the best way to do it, but it will immediately stop that problem. Because what's happening is when the car is shutting off, your amplifier is still on. Especially if it's using DC offset of some kind, that could also be the problem. if it is using DC offset, meaning you're using an amplifier, or or if you're using the DC offset built into the amplifier, that's the signal sense. Then you may need to switch to remote turn on or an accessory. So when the car turns off, the sub amp turns off. So that would be that's what's going on. I don't know how you're connecting and getting your turn on power, but that's the easiest thing to do. Is to just add in a don't use DC offset or signal sense.
All right.
Hey Clint.
Hey Clint. Hey Dean.
Yeah.
When you talk about Tahoes need a better ground or ground strap, what year's generation are you referring to?
The new ones. Just the new ones. The older ones are okay. Obviously, it's a big car. It's a lot of metal. It wouldn't hurt to, add do a big 3 upgrade underneath the hood on that one. That's a pretty easy one to do it on. But the newer ones are really where you run into a problem. The old ones are the current body style is the one that kind of sucks.
Looking to have a 2012 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter done. Is this something you can do?
Well, it depends what you want done to it. It's naturally the question. I mean, if you want a stereo put in it, then yes. If you want a full interior put in it, then that's not what we do. So it really just depends on what you're looking to do.
Her Center Pros components or focal flags components.
I don't know. I haven't really. We don't really. I mean, they're not even in the same price point for one, because the Cento Pros are way cheaper than the Focal Flax. I mean, the Milli Pros cost less than the Focal Flax. So I mean, it's like, if you got the money, get the Focal Flax. Yeah, get an ignition fuse.
Any thoughts of the sound signature of the Audiofrog's GS690s?
I don't know if we've ever heard those. We've only heard the 6.5s. Yeah, I've never heard them. I mean, Audiofrog, it's a great sound. It's nice, warm, very musical sounding. Typically for a subwoofer, we do -5. Usually we do -5 on the whole thing, the mids and highs and the sub. It just depends. I don't like getting black. I don't like getting back blown stuff. Plus, if we put it at -5, that gives us a little bit of room on the radio. So if the guy decides he wants to turn the bass up somewhere, it's not going to blow the sub. So.
Is there anything like the M650 GM that will work for non-Bose hit units?
Yeah, the Amp Pro GM61 flip this switch number 3. Same thing. That's what it's made to do. So Pack Audio, pack-audio.com. Pack-audio.com. Pick up the Amp Pro AP4 GM61. And that will give you what you're looking for your non-Bose head unit. You gotta just flick dip switch number 3 because they're not gonna tell you to do that. We do have a video that shows you how to do it. If you just Google search the Amp Pro AP4 GM61. Can the RP2000 properly drive 2
EVL scars?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know how many watts are the EVLs.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to those things.
That's like one of those things that we know.
Yeah, that's not my wheelhouse. Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, but honestly, if you have, like, for example, like that big subwoofer, we always recommend to go with the bigger amplifier, the SK.
Yeah.
The SK amplifier.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you're going to get serious about it, get serious about it. I wouldn't go RP. I would go...
But...
Yeah. Pick up a Sound Digital. Something like that.
Oh, yeah, the 3000?
Yeah, go crazy.
Ooh.
I mean, big amps.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go crazy, go crazy.
That is right. All right, let me see. I think we caught up with all
I know. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think because it's been so crappy tonight. The stupid feed.
Yes.
I want a new deck, speakers, rear camera, and subwoofer. Yeah, we can do all that.
All right. 2014 Mustang. I don't know if you...
I didn't read it.
Okay. 2014 Mustang GT. Prefers single sub to install. Thinking ported P3 with the Prime 500. 500.1.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
What kind of radio?
I'm gonna say it's a factory.
I mean, if it's a factory, I would go with the Key 501. That would be a better move. You know, if you got a Mustang and you know you're keeping your factory radio, do the Key 501. That way you can DEQ it and make it sound better. Here's a hypothetical: if the focus of sound quality would be better to retain the older 15s in a large sealed box or a smaller woofer, possibly just a single driver, and would that blend better with the good front stage? It really just depends on how high up the 15s play. Yeah, you just have to, that would really be what it is. I mean, sound quality wise, a lot of these guys, you know, they have a 10, they have a 12, some of them have a single 15. A lot of guys do free air, sealed boxes and stuff like that. So it just depends on how low your mid-range is going to play down and how high you need that 15 to play up.
Hey, this is Arturo.
It's an IO5. You guys like to listen to Sirius. That's what was throwing me off. As I hear it, sounds funky. Sirius is funky enough as it is. Yeah, so what it is your IO5 so Sirius XM becomes left mono. So you get left on both. Now if you're a Sirius guy and you like to listen to Sirius, then what you need is, so the problem with the GM is the chime. But if you team up these two products here, your DSR1 with your GM or DGM3, what this is going to allow you to do is they actually control the chime volume digitally with this. So they go in and tell it to turn it down. And this gives you a DSP so you can then tune the car. So this is going to be your next best thing to doing it, getting an awesome signal, doing away with the obnoxious door chime, but also keeping good FM and Sirius XM. So I would recommend going with these two pieces then. And I'm okay. What's the biggest 5-channel amp that will work on the JBL Stage 3? I don't know how much power those things handle. And a 1,000 watt sub. I mean, if you need 1,000 watts for a sub, don't buy a 5-channel.
You need a separate.
Buy 2 amps because that's bad. Like, you know, 5-channel ain't the answer for everything. That's for sure. You sometimes need 2 power supplies in order for that stuff to function. Find a nice 1,000 watt sub amp and buy the matching 4-channel to go with it. If you're worried about size, well then check out the Rockford Mini Ts, because you can get the T750.1 and the T404 and it'll literally take up a space that's this big. Or check out your Sound Digitals. Last week on the Instagram show we had the 1202 and the 1204, and they're like this big. And that would be plenty of power for all of the funness that you're planning on doing. Yeah. Is it that time? It looks like it's that time. Well, thank you, Jason, for reminding us what time it is. It's been a while since Jason has been the keeper of the time.
That's right.
All right, guys, let's head over to here. D&F Tool Drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools that we use in our installations. Just simply scroll down here, and there they are for you to find them and do cool things with them. You can also head over to teespring.com/store/5-star. There you can pick up all the cool 5-star t-shirts and swag and fun stuff like that. There's a bunch of them in there. We have hoodies and all kinds of fun stuff. These are all the new ones here on the bottom. And then also, I would like to remind everyone that on December 7th, 12 Days of Christmas is going to begin. We've been talking about this all the time. It is going to be the giveaway of giveaways. We have vendors out the wazoo. If you are unfamiliar with what's going on, well,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, because
we'll be, once December gets here, we'll be publishing the calendar, the days of events, and it's gonna be fun. It'll be super cool. The stuff we have is plentiful. So you guys, some of you guys are gonna get some amazing products.
Crazy.
It's just gonna be nuts.
Thanks to all these manufacturers are like.
Yeah, they're really stepping up.
Yes.
It'll be really fun, and it's getting better by the day.
That's right.
So with that being said, like for example, Mr. Jeff Smith there, his company there, Amp Global, contributed a high 10.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are going to be walking out with a high 10, all you got to do is email me back with an answer. So we'll tell you we'll give you all the rules and all the fun. Yeah.
Later, man.
You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Instagram. Best follow us everywhere. That way you can always know what's going on.
Yes.
You guys have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow and or Saturday. And of course, you can find me Thursday nights on Mr. Hi-Fi's channel, Mr. Hi-Fi Vega. We talk about car stereo there. See ya.
Bye.